afternoon, everyone. Happy Mental Health Week and happy Monday. We're here today to celebrate Mental Health Week, and I decided to do this live interview here today outside in honor of Mental Health Week with my feet grounded and smelling the fresh air. So now I would like to kick things off by inviting our peer support worker with our Recovery West program, Katie Monson, to join us, and we'll get right into it. Hi, Katie.
Hey,
How are you today?
I am doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I decided to do the interview outside just to get some fresh air, and I have my feet grounded, so I'm ready to go. Before we get started, I just wanted to ask you to share a little bit about your role and what you do at CMHA PD.
So, we're a worker here at Recovery West. Recovery West is a program filled with lots of different courses. I have some education that I do. Particularly, I support with the anxiety group. I'm a big fan of art, so I do a lot of creative outlets. I do a lot of facilitating and a lot of utilizing my own lived experience into the work that I do. Um, so I get to share my experience being a queer person. I get to share my experience having anxiety. It's a really amazing, unique role of uh, taking everything that I've learned and kind of giving it to others to support with their own experience.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that insight. It's so awesome to hear like your journey behind it. So we're gonna dive right into the interview portion. So question number one, what does being a peer support worker mean to you, and how does your lived experience shape the way that you support others?
I really want this like foundation understanding that like I'm nowhere above or below. We're really working together. I try not to use clinical terms like client or um, I don't know, safety and stuff like that. Just because I'm not a clinical person and there's no like I'm not here to tell anybody what their recovery should look like. I'm really just like a hand to hold. Um, I once heard like a reference from somewhere, someone talking about peer support, and they were chatting about how imagine you are someone who is in quicksand, and a doctor might be someone who's standing aside saying, hey, you might be feeling tingling in your feet right now. You might be feeling XYZ. And a social worker or psychotherapist might be someone standing off to the side saying, how are you feeling right now? Like, calm down, like doing some kind of relaxing and grounding. And a peer support worker is someone who's just going to hop right into that um, quicksand with you and hold your hand and help you stay steady so that you can work your way out. And that's kind of how I look at peer support and what it means to me. It's just kind of being that person to sit in the messiness with you and help you out, just like someone did before me for me.
And that's what we need, right? When we're dealing with a challenging situation or we're struggling with our own mental health, like we most likely need a friend or a supporter and to make us feel comfortable and give us that safe space to be able to share. So I love that part. And what do you think some misconceptions are about peer support within the mental health field?
There's this misconception that we're kind of just friends or volunteers and stuff like that. And where I allow everyone to have their own opinions, of course. I think that there's more to that. I think there's so much power in lived experience and some healing that goes along the way with that. I think that there is something beautiful that happens when someone can connect with someone firsthand. And I think that that's something that you can't necessarily teach in books or with degrees or so on and so forth. So I think that peer work is just as valid, just as important, just as impactful as any other title, whether that be a social worker, a doctor, or whatever. That being said, like we love our doctors and our social workers, and we're all big one community.
What's something you wish more people understood about mental health recovery?
I think that something that I would like everyone to think about more is that, everyone on this earth has different types of wellness and recovery in their life, right? We have our physical wellness, we have our mental wellness, we have our spiritual wellness, so on and so forth. Um, I, I often say things like every person is fighting a battle that the other person knows nothing about. And so I think that if we kind of uh, connected more about how people in recovery and people dealing with mental illness have, like, we have more in common than we have apart, right? Everyone's going on their own journey. I hope that makes sense.
That did make sense. Thank you for sharing. And I wanted to ask a little bit about you yourself, what you do to take care of your own mental health. I know you're so passionate about helping others, but we want to know how you take care of yourself as well.
Um, so many things immediately at the top of my head. I have a lot of uh, animal therapy in my life. I have four beautiful cats and a dog, so they're great for that. But one thing that I do that I think really helps me stay grounded is I constantly, all day, I check in with myself. If I'm feeling any sort of difference in my body, maybe I'm fidgeting a little bit more, maybe I'm feeling a little bit flushed, whatever the situation might be, whatever trigger my body is trying to communicate to me, I will take a second, I'll think about it, and I'll say, what am I thinking right now? What are my needs right now? And I really listen to my body, and I will oftentimes use an emotion wheel to kind of uh, connect what my body is feeling to an emotion. And then based on that, I will figure out what my needs are. So constant self reflection, being very, very connected to my body helps me feel grounded. And being really self compassionate to myself as well, which is a long journey in itself, but really just trying to be my own best friend and look out for my own needs and be my be my biggest cheerleader, really.
So if you didn't catch that, that was animal pet therapy and being grounded, and as well as self-reflection, constant self-reflection, checking in. I really like how you said that you check in multiple times throughout the day, because usually people will like add it in their calendar to meditate or reflect on a certain time within the week. But I like that you do it constantly, so you're not missing any emotions and letting them settle in. So that was a great tip as well. Thank you so much, Katie, for sharing. And would you like to leave a little bit of a message for Mental Health Week before we end?
Yeah, my message would be if you are listening and you feel like a peer support worker might be something that would be helpful to you, please reach out. We would love to have you. Every word that you have to say is important. We're here to listen, and just kind of speak out. And we're here whenever you're ready.
Thanks, Katie. Exactly. If you're looking for any information about our programs and services, please be sure to visit our website, CMHA And also, we have a series of events happening throughout Mental Health Week. So please be sure to check out our latest posts and our latest news article on our website to get more insight and register for some really cool workshops that are coming along. And then we also have another live interview at the end of the week with our crisis support workers. So looking forward to that as well. Thank you, everyone, and see you later. Bye.